since I've done a live. Just had a bit going on, so just haven't got around to it. If you're new here or don't know what Coffee Chats is, usually it's when I take a break from filming and decide to make myself a bit of a coffee and have a chat with you guys. So, what's been going on with the channel lately? I know I haven't been putting much up recently. Haven't had a chance to get out there and do any filming or anything lately, so unfortunately that and the times I have been able to, it's just been too hot to go. I mean, the last couple of times it's been like nearly 40 degrees. So yeah, I just haven't gone out lately to do any filming. But I do have a fair bit of filming to do in the pipeline coming up soon, so be watching out for that. Also, if anyone out there does have any survival related questions, feel free to ask them and I'll answer it to the best of my ability. So any sort of survival related questions or anything like that. Today's sort of project for me is being able to attach that to my pack. Because my pack isn't actually a hunting pack, it's a ex-army SAL International G900 field pack, so it doesn't really have any spots to put a bow, but I will make a spot to put a bow on there. So that's my new one, the new compound. I actually have another bow coming as well, which is a I don't know, I think it's a bit gimmicky, but it's one of those survival folding bows. I figured I will buy one so you don't have to. So when that second bow gets here, like I said, it's a bit gimmicky. I've seen them on there. It's one of those folding survival bows, and I bought one, and I'll do a video on it, see if they're any good for a survival sort of context, not sort of a archery or hunting sort of context, but being able to have something like that in a bug out bag would be kind of cool. How are you? But yeah, so today I'm just going to try and put that bow on that bag, and unfortunately some water got into the box I keep my arrowheads in, and so they've gone a bit dull and rusty, so I've had to give a few of them a clean up. For those of you who haven't seen my new bow, because I don't actually showcase bow hunting on my channel, it's nothing flash, but it is a better size for me because I am quite short, and this one's just a bit better size for me. So set to 50 pound at the moment. My other bow is a 65, so this one's a bit it's a bit lighter than I'm used to, but yeah. Yeah, no, I'm well familiar about not dry firing. I mean, I've got a couple of other compound bows and recurve, and I used to have a longbow, but that one disappeared long ago. But yeah, no, I'm well familiar with not dry firing bows. But yeah, so anyway, if anyone here has any sort of survival related questions, if you haven't seen my channel before, so a little about me, I a 20-year veteran of the search and rescue sort of fields, and I use information I've tips and tricks I've picked up in that 20 years to teach people how to survive in the bush if they get lost, or how to survive disasters or emergencies and stuff like that. Not so much just getting lost, but also natural disasters and bits and pieces like that. So if you haven't checked out my channel, be sure to go check it out. But I am thinking that I might start putting some bow stuff on there as well, seeing because a lot of the times I do go out and do that. Unfortunately, here in Western Australia, though, it is quite difficult to go bow hunting. You're only allowed to do it on private property, and you're only allowed to target feral species, so rabbits, foxes, pigs, goats, stuff like that. But, yeah. God, my hands are covered in rust dust now from those arrowheads. Although I was firing it in my backyard earlier on, because I have a few with these on them. So that's called a bunny basher. So it's like a rubber tip that you use for hunting rabbits. And yeah, so I can pretty well safely fire that in my backyard against cardboard and a block of foam. But yeah, so anyway, so as I said, if anyone has any survival related questions, anything like that, feel free to ask. I will answer it to the best of my ability. If I don't know, I'm sure I'll probably be able to give you a starting point of where to find that information. Yes, now I just got to figure out how to attach this bow to this bag. Because if there's one pet peeve I have, is having things in my hands. Yeah. I'm fortunate enough to have a really awesome boss. So he's sort of, yeah, really awesome boss who's into the same sort of things I'm into, but he hunts with a rifle. But yeah. I'm thinking I might somehow attach that to the webbing straps up on top. Just trying to figure out how at the moment. So my channel turned 4 years old during the week, which I never thought I'd still be doing it after 4 years, but here I am. But I got me thinking about doing more with the channel. So at the moment my channel is how-to videos on various survival skills and a few gear reviews thrown in there. But I am now starting to think of doing more sort of longer form survival videos. I mean, I'm not sure if people really want to watch that, but I see them all the time on Facebook, on YouTube and Facebook and stuff like that. A few popular channels that do that sort of stuff, and I thought, well, that actually seems like a hell of a lot of fun. So the idea is floating around in there to do that sort of stuff. I mean, of course, I'm still going to do the how-to style videos on survival skills. Because that's why I started this channel, to teach people survival skills. I do have a pet peeve though with a few of those channels that do those survival sort of challenges. I mean, yeah, I get they do it for entertainment, but a lot of the information they give out is actually quite dangerous. I mean, I get that every survival situation is different, But yeah. Oh, I think I need a more coarse stone for these arrowheads. I think either that or I just chuck them out because they're a bit too far gone. That's what happens when you don't check your gear. Water got into the case, and now they're all sort of corroded. As you can see, the tip of it there was sitting in water. It's made it a bit dull. I mean, it'll still do the job. It's still quite sharp on the tip there, but I don't want to use something that's going to hurt an animal. I want to use like good stuff that'll do the job and do the job quickly. So anyway, back on to trying to fit this bow on this bag. I don't want it in the bag, I want it on the bag. There's not really any places to attach it on the side, so I am thinking, it does already have some straps on here, so I'm thinking maybe these sort of Velcro straps might be able to be used nope. Not unless I want to keep taking my sight and everything off every time. Almost. One's in a good spot for it, the other one not so much. That, and I don't really want my strings there because I don't want to have to take my bow off every time to get the Camp 10 out, because I use the Camp 10 quite a lot. I don't want to run the risk of nicking a bowstring, so yeah. Cobra Siege. Sounds like a fair bit of fun there, buddy. Fair bit of fun. Yeah, so I have lost my access to firearms because in Western Australia they've made it really difficult, and the place where I used to go no longer has it. He no longer has the firearms, so, and I don't live on a minimum of 5 acres, so the chances of me getting a license now are pretty slim. I mean, I do have a firearms license at the moment, but it's only for E-class firearms. If you don't know what an E-class firearm, that's an air cannon, paintball marker, stuff like that. Because I used to play a lot of paintball back in the day. I used to play some tournaments and stuff like that. But yes, but to get it upgraded even to an A-class, I need a minimum of 5 acres, which is a real pain. So trying to get a firearm in Western Australia if you don't own property is almost, that's near on impossible. They make it very hard. Which is silly, because Western Australia has got a massive feral animal problem and not enough hunters to deal with the feral animal problem. And yet they make it harder for people to go out and harvest feral animals. You know, we've got a massive pig problem down here in the southwest. Up north they've got a massive goat problem. In the centre they've got a massive camel problem. And yet they make it harder and harder for people to go out and get these animals. And they do a shitload of damage. You know, they do a hell of a lot of damage to crops and everything like that. So, yeah, that's sort of, they're sort of shooting themselves in the foot, so to speak. I mean, even the companies that go out and and foxes, we've got a massive fox problem here too. Massive fox, and rabbits. So basically, all the feral animals that you're allowed to go out bow hunting are pretty well in almost plague proportions where I am. except for the camels. They're more of a inland sort of thing. See, I don't want to put this in the bag because even when my bag is dead empty, it sticks out way too far. No. Cheap land isn't really available here. I think what's the cheapest land I've seen was a bit of unused bushland. It wasn't overly big, but it was still over $500,000. If I wanted to get some land out in the middle of nowhere, I could probably try and get a crown lease or something, but even then, they are hard to come by at the moment. They're all sort of, yeah, outback, possibly. Thing is, if you buy the land, I mean, my family own land out in the goldfields. It's it used to be a mine and all that sort of stuff, and we own it. There's nothing out there, like nothing at all, and yet we still pay a shitload in land rates. So for something I'm essentially going to use not that often, I don't want to be paying a shitload of land rates. That's the problem. You just get taxed on tax on tax. I don't even know what the land rates do. There's no road out there. There's no bin collection. Nothing. So the only thing out there is an old water tank, some stumps, and a few old mines. Oh, and a graveyard, because it's an old town site. But yeah. I'm thinking I might have to bite the bullet and buy a new backpack, specifically for the bow. I have been looking at them lately, but I just wanted to see if I can get this on my normal backpack before I shell out the money. It's not as if I'm going to go for anything big game. I mean, the biggest game I can get here is probably a deer, but that's if I'm lucky enough to find a deer on private property that I'm allowed to hunt on. But yeah, so I don't need anything that's going to have to carry a lot. Yeah, it is rather crappy. I mean, yeah, the prices of property, even just land, have gone absolutely mental. You know, like this house, I bought this house in 2012, and it was nearly $280,000 I paid, and that was pretty well what it was worth at the time, and that was just before there was a housing crash. So bought the house about nearly $280,000. Then I had to buy the house again because I had to buy it, get it refinanced and shit like that. But the property went from 280 down to about 109, about 200,000. But now, as it stands today, it's worth about 700,000. I'm like, how does the house hasn't changed? How is it worth $280,000 when I bought it, and then a couple of years later lost 80,000, and now it's gained like nearly $500,000 in value? I feel sorry for people trying to get in the housing market now. It's just crazy. But anyway, that's off topic. Like I was saying before, if anyone here has any survival related questions or anything like that, feel free, pop them down there. I'll answer them the best I can. If I can't answer it, then I will be able to probably tell you where you can find the information. If you didn't know who I am, So I'm Spud. I run a business called Survive at Southwest, where I use knowledge gained over a 20-year career in search and rescue to teach people how to survive in certain scenarios and survive out in the bush and help people through natural disasters and stuff like that. So if you have any questions, feel free, chuck them down there. I will answer them. And like I said, if I can't, then I'm sure I'll be able to point you in the direction of where you can find the information, or point you in the direction of someone who can answer them. But yeah, so like I was saying before, I have another bow coming, so that's my new one, the EK Archery Research bow, and I have another one coming that I bought just to try out, and it's one of those folding, like they call it a survival bow, and it's like one of the folding bows. And I thought to myself, I'm just gonna buy one and see what it's like, because apparently it folds up quite small and will be able to fit in the bag. But I want to see what they're cracked up to be, because if they are, then I'll rate them. If they're not, then I won't. But I will put the video up on my YouTube channel when I get around to it. Apparently it's £60. I am going to test that, because that's quite a draw for, or quite a poundage for a folding bow, you know. But we'll see how it goes. What else is new? What else? Like I was saying, it's been too hot for me to go out and do any filming lately, on the weekends that I've been available to go out and film. I think last weekend I was available to go out and film. It was nearly 40 degrees Celsius. So I just sort of thought to myself, nah, stuff that idea. But now the weather's starting to cool down. My wife's shifts are starting to get a bit more regular now that she's on shift work, but she's starting to get regular shifts. I'm going to be able to plan some more filming trips, and some more trips with other channels like Get Out There and Do It. I think Get Out There and Do It, like, I think Brett bow hunts a little bit as well, so what else have we got? There's some stuff coming up with Prep Pro, so I'm going to be doing some stuff with them for some of their new gear lines. If you haven't checked them out before, be sure to go check them out, preppro.com.au. Great people there. Haven't done any more work on the book. Haven't done any work on the book for a while, so I'm writing a survival guide, but it's going to be not one book. So my survival book that I'm writing is actually, it's going to be like a field manual, but it's like a little file, and you can put bits in, so you can actually create your own survival guide with things that are relevant to you. Because I've got a full library of survival books and survival guides and stuff like that, and most of the information in there, in those books, pretty well doesn't apply to where I am or my situations and stuff like that. So I figured I'm going to make a book, write a book, and it's all going to be survival skills, but in the how-to, step-by-step tutorial sort of writing with pictures, and it's just going to be like just skills. And so basically, you can buy, you can get like book 1, water collection. You can tear it apart, put which pages you want in there, and so on and so forth. Trapping, stuff like that. I mean, it's probably about 55-60% complete, but again, finding the time to sit down and write when you've got 3 young kids is a tad difficult. Yeah. So, like, anyone have any sort of survival related questions? Any questions at all, actually? Just come have a chat. Stay for a coffee. I mean, that's what I do. Talk shit about the outdoors. Because unfortunately for me, I don't get out to the outdoors as much as I sort of want to or need to. But that is family life and full-time job life. But I personally blame the lady at the news agency because she won't stop messing around and will not give me the winning numbers for the lottery. So it's her fault. Yeah. What else was there? I'm thinking about getting one of those bow fishing kits as well for the bow. I've never done it before, but I want to try it. It looks like a lot of fun. But again, I have to check the legalities of it here in Western Australia because Western Australia is really shitty for being able to go hunting. I don't know if bow fishing counts as hunting or whether it counts as fishing. Whether I just need a fishing license to do it or whether I just can't do it at all. I don't know. I have to check it out. But yeah, so that's where I'm at sort of with that side of things. I've got a long list of videos to do, but if anyone wants to see anything in particular for survival skills related videos, feel free to jot it down there. I'll add it to my board and get some ideas happening. And yeah. But yeah, what else was there? There's something else I've got coming up. Ah, that's right. My survival skills sessions, my in-person sessions, they look like they may be happening sometime later on in the year. So there's things in the pipeline at the moment to get my classroom sessions or my outdoor classroom sessions finally off the ground. Because unfortunately I did receive a cease and desist from the local shire and stuff like that, using their land without all of the bloody liability insurance and stuff like that, which I was trying to get around not getting because I try to keep, like, I believe survival skills should be available to everyone, not just those who can afford $700 for a day. So I try and keep my prices for the survival skills sessions as low as I possibly can, and a way to do that was by operating under death and injury waivers and not liability insurance and stuff like that, which dropped it from about $500 a day to about $120 per participant. But yeah, it pissed off quite a few other sort of survival skills trainers out there that I was starting to do them for quite a lower price, to the point where one actually messaged me and said, "Hey, you're devaluing the industry." I'm like, well, no, I'm not devaluing the industry. I just believe that everyone should be able to have access to someone teaching them survival skills. That's why I teach survival skills for free on YouTube. But again, YouTube's good, but it doesn't beat a face-to-face sort of lesson. But yeah. Well, anyway, guys, that is going to be it for me. It's only a short one tonight. I've pretty well come to the conclusion that the new bow is not going to go on my bag. So it looks like I need to start looking around for a new bag. Oh, no, wrong way. Yeah, so probably start looking for a new bag, one that can actually fit that in it. But yeah, anyway guys, cheers for sticking around, and I will catch you later.